Auntie.
What's up? What's up? Let us in.
Good to see you.
You too, Auntie.
It's been way too long. Just go ahead and let us in.
Hold on.
I mean, yeah, that's the point of entry.
What do you mean, Auntie?
What?
That's what entry is all about.
Okay.
That's what crossing the threshold is all about. You feel me?
She bugging.
So,
Girl, just let us
why
in.
don't y'all?
Just stop being weird and say we can come in.
I mean, show me what you can do.
I'm cool.
Because this ain't about me giving you permission. This is about
What are you talking about?
your own abilities.
Titi scary
Why are
me.
you acting funny?
Why are you acting funny?
Meds.
Okay, should we just go home? Or?
No, come on in, man. Come on in.
Yay!
Yeah, dang, you were starting to scare us. Like, what? Hey, cousin, sing a song. Sing something for Grandma.
Okay, I'll do something.
Sing.
All the money that I have.
Hey, yo, cut that! No! Sing literally anything else!
I don't even really like
What do you
garlic.
mean? We gotta do the trend.
Y'all crazy. I don't even like garlic like that for real. We don't have to do the challenge.
Come on.
Look at it. This is just dumb. Garlic is stupid.
You better eat it right now.
Go ahead and eat the garlic.
What you so afraid of?
Eat it right now.
Eat it!
Damn. Yo. Have you guys seen Sinners yet? If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna try my best not to have any spoilers, but it's really hard to talk about all the themes, the symbolism. But I just came from seeing Sinners. It is 12:56. Ryan Coogler did such a good job. I have to sit down and record. I want to talk about it, and I also want to watch other people's reactions on TikTok to see some themes they pull and just react to it as well. So stick with me if you want to know what the film is about without it being spoiled. I'll try my best without spoiling the film, okay? All right.
Church people are the most hilarious people on the planet. Imagine seeing a trailer for a movie called Sinners. Then you go see said movie and say you had to walk out because it was weighing too deep on your spirit. The movie is called Sinners. I thought y'all ain't like those. Why would you go watch the movie if you ain't even y'all shun sinners? But y'all gonna go watch the movie. Oh God. That's like when The Conjuring came out and you seen The Conjuring trailer and then go watch the movie. Oh my God. It was so much work about demons and being possessed. Y'all need to stay at church. Watch church movies. Go watch The Shack. It's a good one. Go watch The Overcomer. Another good one. Yeah. Y'all need to stay at home, you know. Watch Lovely Bones. You feel me? Go get y'all a Lifetime subscription. That's where you stick to. Yeah.
First thing first. So there's a lot of churchgoers who went to the film and end up walking out. This happened also with the Book of Clarence last year when it came out. A lot of us Christians were screaming blasphemy, so we did not go give it. So go and watch it just to understand it for ourselves. Therefore, the film really didn't do that well in theaters. I watched the Book of Clarence. The Book of Clarence was very well done, especially tying now into this film Sinners. I think they kind of tie into each other. I see why a lot of Christians are walking out. The Book of Clarence is for sinners. It's for individuals who look at Jesus and may think that he's just too far to grasp. He acts too perfect, and like some of us who are sinners who know like we're not perfect. The Book of Clarence is for individuals like us who still love God. So if you didn't go and watch it because you are a Christian and you probably missed out on even building a closer relationship with God, knowing like someone like Clarence and his struggle you could possibly relate to. Bringing this back now to this film, Sinners. We're sinners. We're all sinners. It's sometimes really good to go watch movie or to go experience art just to understand the spiritual insight it brings. A lot of Christians sometimes we miss out on gaining more spiritual insight within ourselves and being more attuned to our spirituality instead of just religious law. And the Bible always talks about this too. Like Jesus talks about this a lot of times, how you like throughout of Matthew, Jesus talks about just us following law versus actually being one with our spirits and being aware again of what our path is, not just following what is on trend. And this movie will connect you to your spirituality. This movie isn't a representation for everybody, but this film is also for a lot of individuals. So I wouldn't miss out on it just because people are saying again like it's blasphemous or it's demonic. I saw so far I'm seeing a lot of like some Christian creators saying, this film is demonic, don't go and watch it. Like, are you covered by the blood? Because if you're covered by the blood, God give us that spirit to withstand being in certain environment and experiencing certain things and knowing we can get past that. I'm a strong believer of that. Now, I'm African. Spirituality is all around us as Africans. Growing up in Liberia, like we have Geo devils, we have spirituality intertwined with our relationship with God. But I see here in America, because of like white Christianity, spirituality is diluted into something that's just demonic and to be avoided at all times, and it really dampens and like makes your religion just plain. If you're missing out on seeing certain art that is like spiritually focused because it's demonic, you're gonna be missing out on a lot. You're gonna be missing out on a lot. I'm a child of God. I know God loves me so much. Like there's no way, no doubt, like I could be thriving if God isn't, if I'm not covered by the blood. But also, I also know like God gives me spiritual insight. He gives me wisdom to be able to discern certain things. So if you experience certain things that are difficult and being able to get through it. So yeah, please don't miss out on something like this. Don't go to, and also don't pay to experience art and then you can't stand to even sit in it. Like don't do that. This is like someone took time, invested time and money into this film. Go watch it. Like actually watch the film.
So, I did a little review on Sinners because I thought the film was just, a masterpiece. And initially, okay, I didn't want to say anything because everybody's living for this film. Initially, when I saw Hailee Steinfeld, I was like, why are we seeing this white woman with this black man? Why can't we see? But then I was like, you know what? There's probably a reason for this. When I actually went to go see the movie, I was like, period. I see why he did it. I understand. And there was more to the story. So I live for it, right? Most of the imagery we have seen for vampires have always been white people, right? And so this is nothing new. But over the years, we've seen more and more black people play vampire roles. Why does this matter? Well, this reminds me of Deliverance, right? With all the accolades, with all the praise, especially way more praise than Deliverance, but with all of that happening, there's something about putting a white person, as talented, amazing as they are, right? You got to give them that. As great as they are at their role and their job, people seem to make that the focus of every single aspect of the film. It got so bad that the director of Deliverance, Lee Daniels, he didn't even really have to sit there and say that white women who marry black men who act, black, whatever that may be, and we know what that is. He didn't even have to go as far and say that they are the fabric of the community or part of the fabric of the community, because at the end of the day, there was already people praising Glenn Close. Glenn Close this, Glenn Close that. When the trailer came out, most of the comments were talking about Glenn Close. So when looking at the film, again, people are praising the scene where you had all of those other different things that were mixing together. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it. And you had so many other different things that were happening. So it's not just about Hailee Steinfeld, and this is not a campaign to go against her. What is the balance of making sure that you appreciate a white actor in a predominantly black film versus you putting them on a pedestal and you being like, oh my gosh, this white actor's so amazing. Oh my gosh, this white person. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Everybody was like, have you seen Hailee Steinfeld? Have you seen Hailee Steinfeld? You would have thought that Hailee Steinfeld was at like the most of the film. And funny enough, she wasn't. Again, she ate her role. And okay, I hope to see more. She ate her role down. But it's like, there were other actors, right? There was other actors and actresses. There was other people, other women there that were also prominent to the screen. They were also beautiful and amazing and talented. Let the girls all exist in this space, right? But it is something where I've noticed online. I'm not trying to complain again. Masterpiece again. Love Hailee Steinfeld again. Love the actors again. Love everybody. It was amazing. I'm just saying, like, hopefully the internet doesn't do what the internet does and takes it to a point where it's like, oh my goodness, this white person is like, it's like, no, y'all, please don't.
Yeah, I can see why a lot of people are cheering on Hailee Seinfeld's performance in this film, right? Everybody in this film, everybody who were in this film was in this film for a reason. It was a good cast as a whole. The ensemble was amazing. Hailee Seinfeld represents, again, the dominant culture. Hailee Seinfeld represents white people, and a lot of white people who went to this film and didn't walk out, I can see why they would be raving for her performance because she represents them. She gets to walk into the juke with this bravado knowing she's protected. She's always been free. Everybody else who came to the juke came to have one night of freedom. She's been free. Okay, so the way she acts with such a carelessness and such an ease in the film. I can see why her performance can give such a way where people can be clapping for her and saying, like, okay, she's like the best performer of the overall film. Mind you, she's not really the center of the film at all. But Ryan Coogler did such a good job of the writing that it should win Best Ensemble. This film is amazing overall.
Okay, warning, this post is going to be really mean. If you don't want to hear anything really mean, I suggest that you scroll away from this one.
Where's the fucking Latino extras? Come on, Ryan, you're so good at putting Latinos in your movie. What the fuck happened here? You don't put Latinos in the movie, and you steal from the biggest Latino vampire movie? Come on, man, that's a bad...
In summation, this dickhead is trying to say that Sinners, the vampire movie that Ryan Coogler just dropped, is a knockoff of a Latino vampire movie to dusk to dawn. Mind you, Latino people are villainized in that movie, and Ryan Coogler did say that he was inspired by that movie and many others, and the movies are not that similar. Okay, let's start there. The main thing that I want to say is to all non-black people, like, y'all are so fucking weird and obsessed with us, and I think, like, we're often so forced into being, like, kind and holding y'all hand through it. I'm gonna say y'all weird as shit. Nothing is stopping you from getting in the booth. You are not owed representation through us. We don't owe you that. Y'all are weird. Y'all steal our language. Y'all steal our lingo. Y'all steal the way we dress. Y'all steal the music. Y'all steal every fucking thing, and y'all still demand more. Y'all are weird. If you feel hit by that, you feel hit by that. But y'all are weird as shit. Like, that was some weirdo shit. You are, one, trying to not only knock the movie, at the same time you're asking to be in it. Like, that is a perfect analogy for how non-black people really be on some loser shit. Y'all are weird, obsessive. I feel like we have stalkers. As black people, we have nothing but fucking stalkers, and y'all, like, are never beating the allegations. And I don't know. I'm not gonna at that creator because I'm not about to, this is no bullying, no hate, or whatever you gotta say, but, like, yeah, fuck y'all for real. Get the fuck out of fucking nachos. How about that?
Yeah, I did not see a lot of Mexicans in the film. Again, this film, Ryan Coogler said it was personal to him, so I'm sure he knows why they weren't represented into the film. That's all I'll comment on that. The film, it didn't seem like anything was missing from it, though. It was a masterpiece.
I saw Sinners last night, and I saw 2 people walk out of the movie theater mid-movie. For context, I live in Los Angeles. It was the opening day of the movie, and I've never seen anything like that. Now, being me, myself, and I was very confused, because the movie, for starters, is absolutely exceptional. Like, amazing. I can't stop thinking about it. It's entering my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Maybe top 5 favorite movies of all time. Ryan Coogler is a genius, and it's literally insane. Now, going on the internet today, I did see some discourse online about white people leaving the movie theater mid-movie. The couple last night who left was white, and I'm white, so I want to speak to this a little bit. So as I said, I absolutely loved this movie. I loved it. Anyone can love it. Anyone can see it and be like, this is a really, really good movie. You'll love it even more if you're black. That's because Ryan Coogler is extremely intentional about everything he does, including adding black history into every single solitary second of this movie. So, if you're white and you're not taking the time to educate yourself on history, because there's no white history without black history. If you're not taking the time to educate yourself, yeah, you probably won't like this movie. So, if you go into it blind and uneducated and you're white, take that time to educate yourself because it will help. 1, you'll just be a better person. 2, you'll enjoy the movie more and you won't be offended. There is a pipeline between being right-wing and not liking movies because you're so close-minded that you can't even enjoy something because you feel offended by it without actually understanding what the movie's about. There is one particular scene in this movie that is so breathtaking. It's cinematic, a masterpiece, and you literally won't understand it if you don't educate yourself. If you don't understand, simple as could be, is that there's no white people culture. There's the culture we speak of today is from black people. Our music, fashion, everything. Nothing would be here today in America without black culture, history, everything. So taking that time to educate yourself and learn will help you understand this movie if you want to. And if you don't see it because you're not going to like it and you're not going to enjoy it. And for black people seeing the movie and being uncomfortable seeing it with white people, I get it. But there are some people who have taken the time to educate themselves and understand your history without trying to have a white savior complex, with which this movie also touches on. There's a way to be respectful and understanding of history and culture without infringing and feeling like you need to save someone for what the history has been, which this movie beautifully touches on. And that, the whole entire umbrella of what I'm trying to say is be educated. Educate yourself. Because our American education system failed us. So do it yourself. And go and see movies like this, because it's an incredible door to help you open up and walk in someone else's shoes and see their history. Because they're giving us a doorway to doing it. So thank you.
There's this notion that white people, if they educate themselves more about our culture, then they will be able to be more comfortable with our culture. They'll be able to participate in our culture without feeling a sense of threat, and I think that's completely wrong. I live in a predominantly white area. I grew up in North Dakota. I migrated from Africa where I was around just all black people, and then I moved up here. I just have to set that preference by saying a lot of us immigrants, the film touched on this too, a lot of us immigrants are not brought to live near black Americans. We're not brought to live near our fellow black folks so we can help their community out. We're brought up here to help white folks out, right? We're brought up here, we're giving more scholarships to be in their schools. Their proximity to us is supposed to bring them more culture, right? That's not what actually happens. The more white people learn about us, the more threat they feel. So I know this creator, again, is coming from a good point of, if they educate themselves, they will be able to sit through the film. No. A lot of these people who walk out the film are educated. It's not because they're ignorant they walk out the film. It's because they're uncomfortable with the real reality. And that's something that education can't fix. That's something that can't, that's something that can't, I think, be unlearned for certain people to be okay with blackness being the force center of a movie. There's a reason why we don't get a lot of budget. The dominant culture is white. The dominant culture that is white have majority education. They have control over everything here. If they wanted to make us the center, they would have a long time ago. Education isn't what's causing us to not have access to equity. It's not lack of education. And here's the thing. White people been educating themselves on our culture since the beginning of time. That's how they knew to go to Africa to get Africans. They studied Africans in West Africa for a long time, and were able to grow rice. We were disciplined in growing rice. You guys have to read the book Caste please read the book Caste. It's Isabel Wilkinson. It was one of those books I had to read while studying racial trauma. That book will break it down for you. They studied us for a while. White folks studied Africans for a while in West Africa to know we already knew sanitation. We were already growing crops so well, very disciplined. We were already very spiritual. You guys, everything started from black folks. They studied us for a while, so we can't always say white people need to educate themselves to feel comfortable with us. They've educated themselves since the beginning of time. That's why they knew to come to West Africa and pull us out so we could come out here and be sharecroppers. They were educated that we would be the best sharecroppers. Come on now. It's not education they need. Narcissism is a thing, okay? Narcissistic people have master's degrees. It's not because they have lack of education. It's something a little bit different, and that's another video for another time.
You know what? I'm gonna say this one other thing about Sinners, and why it makes me say this, that relationships with white people could be a horror in themselves, because there was a moment in this movie that not only validated something that black women have been talking about for ages, but in my eyes was a catalyst to every other horror happening. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, but it was a scene in the juke joint where Stack was trying to get married, the little white girl, the fuck up out of there. And he says to her, "Do I need to get one of these field bitches to throw you out?" He's talking about black women. He called them field bitches, not just black women, his paying customers, his patrons. These are middle-class black women also, by the way. They're not even sharecroppers or people who work in the field. And he called them field bitches. But what happens next is even more crazy. The fact that he says field bitches and she says right back to him, "I wish one of these field bitches would try to fight me. I could fight because you taught me." And this is a phenomenon that black women talk about all the time. That as soon as a black man is openly disrespectful to black women, it validates the inherent anti-blackness that a lot of white women have and makes them feel like they could be comfortable being disrespectful toward black women too. Because this is a white woman who has proximity to the black community. Her mama, nurse, smoking, stack, and whatever. She is like a 1/8 black or whatever the fuck. She has some proximity to the community. She's not even supposed to be in the juke joint though, because she clearly knows that she is presenting as a white woman. And she has not fraternized with any black people up until this point. But as soon as he calls the black women field bitches, they're bitches to her too. Okay? And in my eyes, this is what makes her comfortable representing Smoke and Stack and their financial interests to talking to the white vampires a little bit later on in the movie. She's like, "Oh, they'll talk to me. I can mess with them. I can figure them out and see if they would be willing to come up in here and spend money with y'all." Her comfort in representing them, representing the interests of the juke joint, which by the way is supposed to be a by black people, for black people establishment that she has no fucking part in, that is the catalyst. That not only gets her turned into a vampire, but that gets her invited in that space and eventually killing and turning Stack, which then turns a whole bunch of other black people and ensues the chaos and the violence that happens. And this is what we be saying to y'all. That validating white people's anti-black bias, especially when you fraternize with those white people or you have relationships with them, it only invites more disrespect and violence into the black community, because you've created a conduit into the black community by making them feel comfortable respecting or disrespecting black women. You've made them comfortable with proximity and representation in the black community. And that ultimately is our downfall.
Just the street won't buy you if your family don't sell you, right? So in our black culture, in our black community, the more we publicly disrespect each other, the more we speak ill about each other around other cultures, they do feel comfortable to even now share their anti-blackness many times over. As an immigrant, again, many times over. Whenever I have said, "Oh yeah, I'm Liberian," instead of saying I'm black, I realize easily when I say I'm Liberian around white people, instead of saying just I'm black, they assume I'm against black Americans. So they start making certain comments. "Oh yeah, Africans are more educated." They feel more comfortable to have microaggressions because they assume there's this coonery behavior because I'm now separating myself by saying I'm Liberian, and that just goes with it. It's not just the disrespect us black women we feel from white women when they're in proximity to our black men. That's we know that to be true. That was highlighted so well in the movie. It's just overall when we speak against each other publicly, they feel the right to add on to it. When Candace Owens speak against blackness, oh yeah, they platform her. Why? She's saying it. Let it come from her. What we already feel. That's why I'm so big on like not publicly disrespecting each other. Like for me, my biggest pride comes from like let's confront each other privately. I'm very big on being confrontational privately. Publicly, we have to actually respect each other because that's what people are already looking for us not to be in support of each other. They're already looking. I saw this one TikTok doing President Trump like the first week he was in office. It was from someone in Latin America, and it really pissed me off. That's probably the reason I really started like creating content, being more direct about like what my actual objective is as a black woman. She made a comment saying like, black people don't support each other anyways. Everybody knows black people don't get along. Well, I think it was a Mexican man. He said, for us, we have the. I'll try to find a video. For us, we have the people from Guatemala. We have the El Salvadorian. We have this. We have that. But y'all black folks, y'all don't get along. Y'all from Caribbean. Y'all from Africa. Y'all don't get along. Y'all don't like each other. So they feel like they have a right to speak on us when we speak on us publicly like that. I rather we talk. We have our issues. We know we do in our community. Let's talk about it privately with each other. Let's address each other with grace publicly. Let's not give that to. Let's not give them any ammo. I stand on that 10 toes.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I just came back from seeing Sinners. I'm finna talk to y'all for a minute. If you are Black American, that movie is going to validate so many things for you. That movie validated so much. There was so much. The lore. They had lore for everybody in that movie. That is how you do diversity, because everybody that was in that movie, they had Asian people in the movie, they had Native American people in the movie, they had black people in the movie, they had white people in that movie, and they showed everybody's lore. There was nobody in that movie just to take up space. Everybody had a place. I heard terminology that I've been hearing my entire life, but I've never heard it in a movie. When that woman said, oh, it must be a Hank. Hold on, what you know about Hanks? That movie validated so much of like the black spirituality and history and the music and religion. It validated so much, but heavy on the spirituality. I don't understand how Ryan Coogler was able to do that. That was insane. I mean, they had the Native American people. It started with Native American spirituality and lore. And they even had Native American people in there speaking their own language. It had the Asian people in there. It showed glimpses of their lore. They spoke their own language. But everybody the movie just worked. Ryan Coogler did that. And Michael B. Jordan was amazing in the movie. A dark-skinned black love interest. I was here for it. There were so many calls to black spirituality about letting spirits in. Like, this movie got me want to go sweep the salt. You have to make time to go see that movie. And when you go see that movie, do not get up until the lights come on. Like, it really talked about how, like, music invokes us and, like, how it conjures spirits. And, like, it's just, there's so much. I could talk about this for a straight hour. Ryan Coogler, right now, this probably will be the best movie of the entire year. Whatever awards you get are absolutely deserved. That cast was amazing. That writing was amazing. The cinematography was amazing. The terminology, the script, the dialogue. There were no filler scenes. There was no filler dialogue or anything like that. It was all. Please pay attention to the movie when you go. But anyway, I could talk about this forever. Go see the movie.
Yeah, this film is definitely Ryan's love letter to his Black Americans community for sure. Like, this film, oh my goodness, definitely, like, it's so rooted in the South. Especially if you're not from the South, I'm African, but I got connected, you know. he still made it for all of us, but it's through his eyes. It's about his family history too. So it's so beautiful. When Sammy's performing in the juke, and all his ancestors are dancing in with him, and from past, present, future. And Liberia, there was a Geo devil there dancing too. There was a Geo devil. I'll put a Geo devil there too. Like, that's how intentional he was. Now I'm saying Geo devil. Maybe y'all call it different in your other tribe, or maybe other culture, in Africa calls it something else. We call it Geo devil. There's different type of devil, but there was an African devil there too dancing. The medicine men in there. It was very spiritually, like, something I grew up witnessing in Africa. We had parades with all different medicine men, different spiritual practices being very open along with Christianity. So seeing that for me, again, I didn't feel like I'm gonna take something demonic home. It's just something that for us we're very aware of, and I love Ryan creating this for his community, expanding on our spiritual history and adding this to the zeitgeist. It's such a rich film. Like, nothing is missed. Man. Michael B. Jordan. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just talk about the cast a little bit. Because we can still talk about the film without spoiling it. Let me just talk about the cast a little bit.
Wunmi Mosaku.
Craft Country also. Gorgeous woman. That love interest, Ryan is so intentional. You guys, people walked out the love scene. A white couple walked out at the love scene with Annie and Stacks. I'm like, we can watch all of you guys' rom-coms. I can watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Failure to Lunch. You've Got Milk. We can watch all your love scenes then. But what real love scene on how to actually be in real life? Okay. Annie and Smoke's casting. And then Mary and Stacks casting. Oh my goodness. Another one too. Okay. Without spoiling it. When Cornbread goes and uses the bathroom. When he goes to the woods to use the bathroom. And then he comes by. Mind you, Cornbread is guarding the juke. He's been guarding the juke all night. That's what they hire him for. He's the guard. Okay? Vampires are trying to come in. He's the guard. Right? Vampires won't enter unless being asked for permission. Unless given permission to. He goes and uses the bathroom and it comes back to the juke. The whole clan is standing there and he asks for permission to enter. Annie asks him, why are you all of a sudden asking for permission to enter? You've never needed to ask for permission before. So Annie has a little bit of an insight on the Annie is very spiritually inclined. She's just aware of energies overall. And I love that symbolism just in the Black community, right? If you're in the Black community, you're in the Black community. In the diaspora. I'm not speaking for all Black people, but even, again, I'm an immigrant coming in. Living up here in the Midwest, I don't have as many Black people living up here in North Dakota, right? But even when I've gone to California, living in Texas, living other part amongst Black people, I haven't needed permission to make friendship with Black folks. If I've ever seen a barbecue and I wanted chicken, I just go and get chicken, say hello to them, my name, peace, so forth, right? In a Black community, it's very welcoming like that way. Liberians too are very open door policy. You don't need permission to befriend a Liberian. You don't need to. If you know, you know. What is understood does not need to be said. I love that symbolism of when you step out of your community, when you step out of like sync with your community. Certain Black people we do. I've seen it so many times. Certain Black people say they don't have any Black friends. I've seen so many times certain Black people say they've only experienced negativity from other Black folks. When you step out of sync with your community, it's that cool behavior where sometimes coming back in, you feel uncomfortable, where you feel like you need permission to actually be in community with them again. Because with us, you don't really ever need permission unless you've been someone who they didn't really support us, you know? He did a good job of using that to represent just coons in general. Those who they go out when they're not in the community of black people, when they're with other races, when they're with white people, they get white people passed to speak negatively about black people. When you sell out and you try to come back in, you feel so uncomfortable that you have to ask for permission for certain things that you don't need permission for. Why would you need permission to enter the Jew all of a sudden? Like, why would you need permission? Like, am I invited to the barbecue? Am I invited to the cookout? Like, I don't know. You wouldn't need permission for that. And I love how Ryan Coogler wrote that in. Like, he wrote representation in so much. Like, we're all represented in that film. You should really go watch it, just see where you're at with it, where you resonated with, which character kind of made you feel uncomfortable a little bit, which certain things that stuck out to you. But I really peeped that, writing with Cornbread character specifically in that moment where I was like, this is genius. FD was right. We're going to have a lot of think pieces coming out about this, and I'm going to watch every single one of them because I want to see people's perspective on this. Like, what did you pick up on? Did you pick up on that? Like, yeah. Honestly, I'm sure I'm going to be creating like a part 2, just reactions as I see more reaction because I'm just so... This film was so well done. Like, he did such a good job. Such a good job touching on spirituality and music. You know, last year when I was going through my fast, I really felt a need to cut out a lot of music. A lot of music that I love, a lot of music that are from my root. I felt like it wasn't spiritually what I should be listening to. You know, I deleted them from my phone, and this movie really helped me understand that again. The preacher told Semi, when Semi said he's gonna go out, he said, "You keep dancing with the devil, one day it's gonna follow you home." There's this duality of someone who grew up in that spiritual world, growing up in Africa and being aware, and as someone who is a child of God, figuring out, discerning what I should be listening to, what you should be watching, what you should be gaining in your insights from. Should my insight only come from the Bible? Should my insight come from like other people's struggle, other people's sin, you know? And I think it's an ongoing thing. I think it's something we're meant to still like explore again and take it back. Like, how does it make our flesh feel? How does it make our flesh do? Watching this movie doesn't make my flesh want to commit sin. It doesn't make me want to be disrupting other people's lives. It didn't put any sort of limerence, it didn't imprint any sort of lust in me. So to me, it's not a film that have caused any kind of spiritual damage, right? But certain music that I was listening to, they put those thoughts in me and I had to remove them. Certain music don't. So I think there's a way to discern in between again. What you're consuming, how does it make your body react afterwards? What does it leave you like wanting to take from it? For me, this film leave me just wanting to continue to appreciate Black art. I can't wait to go there with my family again and talk about it. My family do a lot of Bible study. We've been talking about just being open to just spirituality as a whole and not just being hyper-focused on the religious law, but our relationship with God, the God we serve, and what does that mean for us? And that was a conversation we had last night in Bible study. So this film would be a great expansion on it. I really hope you go see it. This film was so good, y'all. This film is so good. This film, Ryan Coogler is amazing. Everybody, ensemble is amazing. 10 out of 10. It is definitely one of my top 5s. I hope you guys are doing well. How have you been doing?
No, y'all saw Ryan Coogler's video where he was like breaking down all the formats. Rarest format that you could find the film in. Vista Theater in Los Angeles.
Oh, we here, baby. We here. Ryan. Rai. No, Rai. We gotta... You ate that, okay? I mean, you fucked that up. Do you hear me? And Mike, like, no, what I said, y'all don't get it. Is this one scene in there that literally changed who I am as a person? Like, to be Black and watch the... Okay, I can't even really get into it because I don't know who watched it, who did, whatever. But I'm going to make a part 2. We got to do a spoiler talk about this because What? No. It's just layered. It reminded me of as I studied like music in college and jazz history and stuff. It reminded me of Congo Square in New Orleans and like that. Just right. I can't.